English podcast.
From Learn English with Joy.
Hi there, and welcome back to Learn English with Joy. I'm Chris, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Emily.
Hey everyone, it's great to have you with us again. If you're someone who understands English pretty well, but still struggles to speak it smoothly, today's episode is just for you.
That's right. Today, we're talking about something that many English learners experience. I can understand, but I just can't speak. And one big reason is this. We keep translating everything in our head before we talk.
Yes, we try to change each sentence from our native language into English, word by word. But what happens? We hesitate. We feel stuck. The sentence becomes too long. And then we say nothing at all.
Exactly. Translating in your head might seem helpful at first, but in the long run, it actually slows you down and blocks your confidence.
So today's topic is called Talk English Without Thinking. But don't worry, we don't mean speaking without using your brain. We mean speaking without overthinking every word and grammar rule before you say it.
We'll show you simple tips to help you stop translating and start thinking in English naturally. It's not about being perfect. It's about speaking more freely, step by step.
So grab a tea, get comfy, and let's dive in together. Let's make English feel natural, one sentence at a time.
You know, hearing that really takes me back. When I was in high school, I spent hours studying English. I memorized all the grammar rules, wrote long lists of vocabulary, and tried to translate everything in my head before I said it.
Oh, I can picture it now. Mark sitting there, eyebrows tight, lips moving, just trying to get one sentence out.
That's not far from the truth. I would pause before every word. My teacher would ask me a question like, "What did you do this weekend?" And I'd panic. First, I'd think of the answer in Vietnamese, then try to translate each word into English. By the time I finished, class was over.
Meanwhile, I was the opposite. Well, you know me. I just talk without thinking. It drives my teachers crazy. But I learn fast.
Yes, and you also made some very creative sentences.
I did. I once said, I am go to swimming in the sky. The teacher looked confused. My classmates laughed. But I wasn't afraid. I just kept talking.
That's something I admire about you. You speak with confidence, even when you're not 100% sure.
I figure, hey, mistakes are part of the ride. I'd rather speak like a river than stay silent like a lake.
That's poetic. But for me, it was hard to break free from the fear. I was so focused on being right that I forgot how to just speak.
So, what changed? You speak a lot more naturally now.
Honestly, one day during university, I had to give a short presentation in English. I didn't have time to prepare. No script, no notes, just speak. At first, I felt frozen, but then something clicked. I looked at the audience, took a breath, and started talking. Slowly, yes, but from my heart.
And how did it feel?
Scary, but freeing. Like I finally gave myself permission to speak, even if it wasn't perfect.
And that's the whole point. Fluency doesn't mean perfection. It means expression. You let go, and the words started flowing.
Exactly. From that moment, I stopped obsessing over every little grammar point. I still made mistakes, but I also made real progress.
You know what? That story reminds me of a saying I once heard. You don't learn to swim by reading a book. You learn by jumping in.
I love that. And in language learning, sometimes you have to jump, even if the water feels cold at first.
So, for all our listeners out there, whether you're like cautious Mark or chaotic me, just start speaking. Don't wait for perfect words.
Trust me, it's better to speak imperfectly than to stay silent perfectly.
Wow. Now that's poetic.
You know, that line really hits home. It brings us to something so many learners face, this constant need to speak correctly. And because of that pressure, we end up saying nothing.
Exactly. It's like our brain is trying to be a grammar-checking robot instead of just talking like a human.
Let's take a moment to talk about why this happens. Why do so many learners translate every sentence in their heads before speaking?
Well, first, It's natural. Our brain is used to our native language. It's the default system. So, when we want to say something in English, the brain first creates the idea in our first language, then starts searching for the English words.
Right. And that takes time. While you're doing all that mental searching and translating, the conversation moves on without you.
The second big reason? The fear of grammar mistakes. We've been told, use the correct tense, watch your prepositions, don't forget subject-verb agreement.
But that pressure creates a kind of freeze, what we call a mental block. The more you stress about being perfect, the more your brain shuts down. Alexander. I call it the mind blank moment. You know what you want to say, but the words vanish. And that's when people stop talking. They get stuck. They feel embarrassed, so they just stay silent.
But here's the truth. Saying something wrong is still better than saying nothing at all.
Yes, because mistakes are part of communication. They show you're trying, and every time you speak, you get a little stronger.
So if your brain wants to pause and translate, just gently remind yourself, it's okay to let go. Trust your English, even if it's messy.
Exactly. Let your words come out. You can clean them up later.
That brings us to our first strategy. Stop translating. I know, easier said than done, right? But once I started practicing this, my speaking really changed.
Same here. When you stop trying to build English sentences in your first language and then translate them, everything feels lighter, more natural. It's like skipping the middle step.
Let's break it down with a simple example. Most learners, when they feel hungry, their mind goes like this. I'm hungry. Okay, how do I say that in English? I am hungry.
That's 3 steps. Too slow for a real conversation. Now imagine this. You feel hungry. Your brain thinks, I am hungry. That's it. Director. No translation.
To do that, you need to train your brain to connect thoughts directly to English. Start with very basic phrases, the kind you already know.
Like, I'm walking, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm eating lunch. Say them out loud as you do them. It feels weird at first, but it really works.
This method helped me the most in the mornings. I'd say, I'm waking up. I'm opening the curtain. I'm making coffee. I didn't worry about grammar. I just narrated my actions.
It's not about creating fancy sentences. It's about building automatic responses.
Exactly. The more you do this, the more your brain gets used to thinking in English. And when it becomes a habit, you'll stop translating without even realizing it.
So don't wait for perfect grammar in your head. Start small. Start direct. Start now.
Now let's move on to another powerful strategy. Think in pictures. This one really helped me when I first started learning French, and it works great for English learners too.
It's simple, but surprisingly effective. Instead of thinking in your native language and then translating, you connect the English word directly to a picture in your mind.
Let's take the word apple. Most people think apple, then apple. But what if, when you hear the word apple, you imagine a round red fruit in your hand? That's it. No need for a Vietnamese label in the middle.
Exactly. You're building direct connections between English words and mental images. It's how children learn their first language, and it's just as effective for a second one.
Here's a quick practice. Look around you right now. Pick 3 objects you can see. Maybe it's a chair, a window, or your phone. Now, say the English word, without translating. Just look at the object and name it in English.
You can even go one step further and describe it. This is a soft pillow. It's a small blue notebook. But keep it natural. Don't try too hard.
Over time, this helps your brain stop relying on your native language. You'll see a thing, and the English word will come naturally, like a reflex.
That's what fluency really is. Thinking in images, feeling the words. No mental dictionary required.
Speaking of fluency, you know what I do all the time? I narrate my life like I'm in a movie. Seriously. I walk into the kitchen and say, "Here comes Alexander, brave, handsome, ready to conquer the fridge."
I'm Not sure that's what we meant by narration.
Okay, fine. But honestly, it helps. I say everything I do out loud, like I'm brushing my teeth. I'm checking my phone again. I'm looking for snacks I definitely don't need.
It might sound silly, but it works. When you speak while doing things, you train your brain to connect English with real actions, not just textbooks.
Exactly. It's like you're living in English, even if no one's around.
I usually do it in the morning. I say, I'm turning on the lights. I'm making coffee. I'm getting dressed. No pressure, no perfect sentences. Just practice.
And let's be honest, no one's judging you if you talk to yourself. Unless your neighbor hears you through the wall. Then maybe just whisper.
The key is repetition. When you narrate your actions every day, your brain builds faster connections.
And faster connections mean faster speaking.
You don't need perfect grammar, you just need the habit.
So go ahead, narrate your day, be the main character or the narrator, or both. Just speak.
That brings us to our next strategy. Use chunks. If you've never heard that word in English learning before, don't worry, it's actually quite simple.
A chunk is a short phrase that people use all the time. It's not just one word, and it's not a long sentence. It's a small group of words that go together naturally.
Like building blocks. Instead of learning words one by one, you learn them as a unit. For example, can I get, how much is it? Nice to meet you.
You've probably heard those before, right? And they come out easily, like muscle memory. That's because native speakers don't think about each word. They just use the whole phrase automatically.
And we can do the same. If you memorize the chunk can I get, you can use it anywhere. Can I get a coffee? Can I get the menu? Can I get some help?
See? One chunk, many uses. And the best part is, you don't need to worry about grammar too much, because the grammar is already inside the chunk.
So instead of learning can plus I plus verb, just learn the whole phrase. Treat it like a Lego piece you can reuse.
A great way to remember chunks is by learning them from real conversations, not lists. Watch shows, listen to people, or copy what you hear in everyday speech.
So next time you hear a phrase that sounds useful, repeat it. Out loud. Make it yours. Use it often. Because the more chunks you know, the easier speaking becomes.
And now, let's talk about a technique that's fun, fast, and surprisingly effective. It's called shadowing.
Shadowing means listening to someone speak, and then repeating their words immediately, almost like you're their echo.
Right. You don't wait. You don't pause to understand every word. You just speak right after them, trying to match their rhythm, tone, and pronunciation.
It sounds a little strange, but it really works. It helps train your mouth, your ears, and your brain at the same time.
Think of it like this. It's like becoming someone's voice echo, but a smart echo, one that learns fast.
You can shadow using short clips from podcasts, movies, or YouTube videos. Start with something short, maybe just 1 or 2 sentences.
For example, find a video where someone says, "I'd love a cup of coffee." Now hit play. Listen. Then immediately say it after them. "I'd love a cup of coffee." Try to match how they say it. Not just the words, but the feeling.
It's okay if you don't understand every word at first. Shadowing is about sound and flow. Meaning comes later.
One tip. Choose materials that match your level. Don't shadow a political speech if you're just starting out. Instead, use slow English podcasts or shows for learners.
And do it often. Just 5 minutes a day can make a difference. The more you shadow, the more your pronunciation and fluency will improve, without memorizing long rules.
Shadow first. Understand later. And soon, you'll sound more natural than ever. Emily. And now, let's talk about one of the most important lessons in language learning. Accept imperfection.
Oh, I'm an expert in that. I make 10 mistakes a minute. But hey, I'm fluent.
You really are, and you don't let those little mistakes stop you.
Of course not. If I stopped every time I used the wrong tense or said the wrong word, I'd still be silent in lesson 1.
That's the thing. So many learners are waiting for the moment they can speak perfect English. But the truth is, that moment doesn't exist.
Nope. Fluency comes before perfection, not after. You speak, you make mistakes, you learn, repeat.
Think about how babies learn to talk. They don't sit there studying grammar books. They try. They say things wrong. But no one laughs at them. Everyone cheers them on.
Exactly. A baby says milk go instead of the milk is gone, and people say, wow, good job. But when adults say something like, he go work yesterday, we freeze up and panic.
But we shouldn't. Because every mistake is a step forward.
Actually, I like my mistakes. They remind me I'm doing something brave.
So to all our listeners, speak anyway, even if it's messy, even if it's broken, because broken English is still communication.
And communication is the goal, not perfection.
Before we say goodbye, let's review some useful words from today's episode.
Yes, it's quiz time, but the fun kind. No pressure, no grades, just words you'll actually use. I promise.
1. Fluency. Noun. Fluency means speaking smoothly and easily without stopping too much. Example, she speaks with fluency now after daily practice.
2. Translate. Verb. To translate is to change words from one language to another, like switching channels in your brain. Example, don't translate, just speak.
Third chunk, noun. A chunk is a group of words that often go together. Think of it as a phrase you can reuse. Example, can I get is a useful chunk.
4. Shadowing. Noun. Alexander. Shadowing is when you repeat what someone says, right after they say it, like being their English echo. Example, shadowing helps with pronunciation.
5. Hesitate. Verb. To hesitate means to pause before you speak or act, usually because you're unsure. Example, don't hesitate, just try it.
6. Spontaneous. Adjective. Spontaneous means natural, unplanned, and fun, like me. Example, our talk was spontaneous but fun.
7. Natural rhythm. Noun. Natural rhythm is the normal speed and tone of real conversation. Example, listening helps you get the natural rhythm.
8. Mental block. Noun. A mental block is when your brain freezes and the words just disappear. Poof, gone. Example, I had a mental block during my first English class.
9. Narrate. Verb. To narrate means to say what you're doing out loud. It helps you think in English. Example, try to narrate your actions to practice English.
10th picture. Noun. A picture is an image in your mind, not the one on Instagram, the one in your head. Example, think in pictures, not words.
10 small words. Big difference.
Use them, say them, make them part of your life.
And don't forget, review is also practice.
And practice is how you win.
Beautifully said, both of you. Now, before we wrap up today's episode, let's take a moment to review what we've learned.
Today, we explored 6 simple but powerful strategies to help you speak English without translating. Let's go over them together.
First, stop translating. Train your brain to think in English directly.
2. Think in pictures. Connect words with images, not with your native language.
3. Narrate your day. Speak about your actions in real time to build fluency.
Use chunks. Learn phrases that go together, like building blocks.
5. Shadowing. Echo what you hear to improve your pronunciation and rhythm.
6. Accept imperfection. Mistakes are not the enemy. Silence is. And if there's one thing we want you to remember, it's this. Fluency is not built by thinking more. It's built by speaking more.
You don't need to wait until your English is perfect. You don't need a big plan. All you need to do is start.
Start small. Start with one sentence, one object, one little voice in your head saying, I'm trying, and that's enough.
Because the moment you speak, you grow. And the more you grow, the more confident you become.
So go out there, speak, whisper, repeat, shadow, narrate, but most importantly, don't stop. So, if you've made it this far in the episode, here's what we want you to remember. You don't need to be perfect to speak English. You just need to keep going.
Exactly. Fluency doesn't happen overnight. It grows slowly, like a plant. Every word you say, every sentence you try, it's a small step forward.
And sometimes we forget that those small steps matter. We get stuck thinking, my grammar isn't good enough, or what if I make a mistake?
But mistakes mean you're learning. They mean you're in the game. Progress is much more important than perfection.
That reminds me of something I once read from James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits. He said, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." And one of the best systems you can build? Speaking just a little every day, even if it's just to yourself?
Yes. Don't wait until you feel ready. You become ready by practicing.
So here's your gentle challenge today. Say one sentence in English. Just one. It can be as simple as, I'm learning English. Or, I'm proud of myself today.
Say it to yourself, to a friend, or even to your pet, but say it out loud, because your voice matters, and your English deserves to be heard.
Thanks for spending time with us today. We're so proud of every step you're taking.
And we'll be here again next time, cheering you on. Until then, keep speaking, keep growing, and keep enjoying the journey.